Welcome to the Transform Your Wealth and Health podcast, where experts in wealth, health, and fitness help transform your life. Here's your host, Andy Arter.
Hi, I'm Andy Arter and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to talk about 5 steps to successful sales that I've used in my 35-year industrial sales career that I've used to sell to some of the biggest companies around. So it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, but you're always selling. You don't realize it, you might not know or feel that you're a salesperson, but other people pick up on it. So they're picking up on various things like your mannerisms or even visual effects such as your smile or even the way you dress. Stuff like that gives out an indication of yourself, and you'll be selling the whole persona of you, even though you might not even be trying to that person just by being you. You'll also provide a physical effect on them as well. So maybe your voice or your handshake, or if you was to provide a demonstration or a service to them, that would go over to them in the nature that you provide it. Just to give you an idea, I had a guy that worked for me once upon a time, and he'd had a senior position previously, but he'd taken up a driver's job for me. He once had 57 people working for him, and as his career had taken a turn as he was made redundant, he took a driving job just to see his last few years of his career out. And he was working for me, I was his manager, and he came up to me one day and he said, "I'm not very happy." And I said, "Why is that, Alan?" And he said that he'd been under pressure, he felt, to do van sales, and that he didn't really want to, at his age, become a salesperson. And we had a sit down chat, and I said to him, "Alan, do you know what? You're the best salesperson we've got, even though you don't try to sell." So he looks at me a little bit perplexed. I said, "Just look at the way you conduct yourself. If you look at the way you dress, the tremendous knowledge that you've got that you impart to our clients, and whenever you're asked to perform a task, you perform it to an incredible level." So I said, "You're the best salesperson we've got without even knowing it." So all we're really asking people to do is hand out a leaflet. The clients will probably look through it very briefly and maybe ask a question or two. And who's the best person to answer it but you? So he picked up on that. He picked up some confidence and he went off and did a good job for me. But it's a matter of him not really perceiving himself as a salesperson. But as I say, we're always all selling without even realizing it. Now, I've been very lucky over the years to be able to count some of the world's largest companies within my client list, and I've sold to many of the largest companies, about Ford Motor Company, Sodexo with 400,000 employees, Honeywell Corporation with 40 billion US turnover, CBRE and JLL, the huge commercial property companies, the largest commercial property companies around, and various other companies as well, and even to royalty such as the Queen and the Sultan of Brunei. So some very important people with big lots of money, and some of these people have not always wanted a set formal sales technique from me. They have all more or less picked up upon something that I've done for them, which is conversational sales, and something that I want to talk to you about today. So it's naturally flowing, it's sometimes deliberately meandering, and it's very conversational. So you can step in at any time and talk to me. I haven't got a set patter or a flow to it. If they interrupt me, it's not an issue. I'm there to talk to them as a conversation. It's able to move around and it's pliable. So you'll get the idea if we get on a little bit to more of the detail of it. But I always think of things such as ABC, always be closing. However, with the conversational sales, the one thing that I really want to get over to you guys is ABL, which is always be listening. So you'll pick up some fantastic nuggets if you listen more than you talk. If you bear in mind that if someone says something along the lines of, "Yeah, I did consider that service, but I didn't want to pay the amount you were asking," it tells me a couple of things. And it tells me there's an opportunity there, and that there's two issues. One, that the client didn't value your service enough to go for it. So either it wasn't sold effectively enough at the time, or two, maybe you can get a sale, but you might have to drop your price. Maybe the price was too high in the first place anyway, compared to other services that are out there. So you've got an opportunity. It's something you can pick up on just by listening. You can pick up on an innocuous remark like that and turn it into a sale. You might have to drop your price, but it gives you a second opportunity. But more listening than talking. So bear that in mind. We were just talking there about conversational sales. So be conversational. Nobody likes to do business regularly with people that they dislike. And they also don't like to talk to people regularly that are trying to sell to them. We all avoid people that are trying to sell to us, don't we? If you think about it, who wants to be sold to? So if actually it's involved in a conversation and you have an input into the conversation, you're much more likely to buy. It's just natural, and it's just how we all are. I think you could also provide unbeatable world-class services. All of us could do that. So if you think about your company, whoever you work for, even if you work for yourself, what could you do that's unbeatable? Well, there's one thing you can immediately do that's unbeatable is provide a 24-hour service. You can't beat 24-hour. It's impossible to beat it. It can't be 24-hour and 1 minute. 24 hours is the maximum, and if you're providing it, it's world class and it's unbeatable. Likewise, 365 days a year. You don't always have to do this stuff yourself. You can get other people to help you. You can get VAs, PAs, other people that are on the other end of a line that can help you provide this service. You haven't got to do it all yourself. But if you can get yourself in a position that you can provide a service that can't be beaten, you can quite rightly say that it's world class. Likewise, if you can get rapport with your clients, then you're going to be able to provide sales techniques that are over and above your competition if they haven't got that rapport. So how do you get rapport? Well, there's many ways and techniques to do it, but ultimately you're looking to build a bond between you where you have your client rooting for you and wanting to help you because they see an affinity between you and they share the same values as you. You are connected in such a way that they are on your side. So if you actually have got the same values, you'll find that you will actually be able to connect better and you can work better together. So how do you do that? Mirror imaging, something that I use, which is very, very subtle. If you can do it right, it's very, very subtle at least. And basically you're copying the movements and the mannerisms of your client. It's something that you don't realize, but really good salespeople will copy what their clients do as they're facing them. So if someone's standing there with crossed arms, you might not want to cross your arms in front of them immediately and match their actual mannerisms, but at some point you might cross your arms. You'll find that they tend to unfold their arms, and if they put their hands in their pockets, you may once again not want to put your hands immediately in your pockets and make it too evident, but you might put one hand in your pocket, becoming relaxed as opposed to them maybe looking uninterested. You will find eventually that they will take their hands out of their pockets, and that mirroring gives you an affinity between each other. You'll find that they're looking at themselves, so they see themselves within you eventually. If they come at you with maybe some vile and venom, and they come at you with a bit of power, good to be able to come back at them with the same venom and power. Doesn't always have to be nasty, but if someone flies at you with a loud voice, you can respond back. It's a mirror image and it works. Just try it, it works. Also, you want to be gaining confirmation. So if you can get confirmation from them, in other words, agreement between you, you can perhaps provide something that maybe it might even be off of their company statement, something that you know that they buy into already. You can get them nodding and agreeing to what you say, which is a visual confirmation too, not just verbal, but visual. And you'll be able to get them on side by doing just ordinary things. So it's part of your conversation, but you'll be saying things to them that you know they already agree with. And that's getting the agreement going between you, and you'll also find that they will eventually become on your side. Body gestures, like nodding and open hands. We just said the nodding was something that you can use. Open hands also, and gesturing too. If you can, with facial expressions, also show that you're in agreement with them, it will get you to rapport. Divide and separate. Now you can place yourself and your client in a separate subclass away from everybody else. So it's a bit like supporting a football team. If you support the same football team as them, for example, you are away from every other team. It's you and them versus everybody else. So if you can get your client in a subclass with you, so in other words, we're the good people, we're the people that all push for this particular type of service, we're the people that see things in this way, and you're again creating yourself away from the rest of society, or maybe even the rest of the industry that you're in, it gets you in their class and in their good books, and ultimately it will mean that you get a sale. Also, you can gain rapport by being clear on your ethics and values. Now, if you're trying to come across as maybe dodgy dealer and slippery sales techniques, but their company's squeaky clean and whiter than white, then you're not exactly going to be in rapport. You're not going to get any work from Coca Cola and Glaxo, for example. They're not going to ask you to do their training for them. So that may help you gain some rapport with your client. Own it. Be confident. Now, I often cold call to huge companies, major London buildings, and I just walk straight in the door, basically. In fact, I rarely make appointments, and I'm most likely to ask for a couple of minutes of their time, very often taking up an hour or two of their time from there on in. If they want to listen to what you've got to say and they're interested, you can be there all day long sometimes. It's as easy as that. So there's a whole heap of gatekeepers that's going to try and stop you, and they're looking to keep you out. Security guards, PAs, receptionists, etc. But if you look like you belong and you have an air of confidence and authority, you'll be able to bypass a lot of these people. And if you say the right things, but it's important that you look the part, then you'll be able to pull it off, and you'll get to see the people without appointments very, very often, who will spare you time. Believe it or not, just walk in and ask, and it just magically appears before your eyes. Act the part. So as well as looking the part, your client will expect you to do certain things, including dress properly, you are behaving appropriately, you are knowledgeable, you appear trustworthy, and you present your goods and services appropriately. Now, I tell my clients that you don't get 100% me, you get 70% me, 20% presenter, and 10% actor. So if I was 100% me, you get me warts and all, wouldn't you? And if I'd had a bad day, should I take that out on my clients? Should I let them have my bad mood? No, I wouldn't want to do that, and I don't think they deserve it either. It's just not fair. But if I'm part actor, I can use that acting ability to let them see the better side of me and help them to keep their day going well. Why should I put the bad mood on them? Also, the presenter. Now, if I'm just going to turn up and hand out leaflets with my bad attitude, that's not very good all round. No one's going to gain from that. So you need to be able to present the facts and figures and details in a certain manner. So like a TV presenter or a newsreader, for example, you wouldn't like it if a guy turned up in a t-shirt reading the news and just flippantly read the words out to you, picked his nose and slurped his cup of tea while he was doing it. And we would all think it was very unprofessional, flippant, and very irrelevant and disrespectful. People expect it too. You're there to perform and also to provide somewhat entertainment. There's 5 quick ways there that you can be more successful with your sales. Be conversational, be unbeatable, get rapport with your clients, own it, and act the part. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please subscribe and rate the show. Thank you very much. Before we go, just to announce the winners of the subscribers competition: Simon Batten, Kwesi Afam, and Uwe Ujam. So guys, we'll be getting in touch shortly, and enjoy the prizes. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and until next time, start transforming your wealth and health now.